Hey, how you doing? This is Martone, our trainer of Fuller Fitness, and the goal of this video is to give you an idea of how you can increase your strength and size using bands at home or wherever it is you might use them, but specifically at home. So, first of all, if see that slack that I have in the bands, if you do that, you can do 200 reps. And one, that's a waste of time. Two is boring. Three, unnecessary. So make sure you don't have slack in the bands like that, which I hope you can see, which means you're standing back too far. Compared to when you start, there should be tension in the band. Not so don't slack at all. That's a waste of time for you to start. And then, so when you start, make sure you're like that, where there's no tension in the band. The further you stand away, the more challenging it is. And that depends on which band you're using and as well as how many bands you are using. So there's that. And then one of the things that I love oh so much about these bands is that if you can't do it, you really can't do it. So there's no, leaning forward and using any momentum or anything like that when you're using bands. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Well, I have two bands. One band is equivalent to 40 pounds, another band is equivalent to 23, which might not seem like a lot, but again, bands are very different compared to dumbbells and a barbell. So I'm using handles, so that would make it equivalent to dumbbells. And one, the further you stand away from your base, the harder it's going to be, and the more fun it should be, at least for me. The more challenging it's going to be, the more fun it's going to be. So you have to stand fairly far away so that you can actually feel it. One. Two, I would say have a bend in your front leg. So I got one leg up front, one leg in the back. And I'm going to give it a good push with high hopes this is one of the many days I can actually push the load that I'm actually trying to push. All right. So again, hopefully you keep your chest up, your back straight, and you give it a good heave. All right. So that's pretty much all it is. Okay. So one, I have at least I think I have at least 17 years of experience using bands. Um, Specifically with these bands, I might have 16 years, maybe longer, using these bands specifically. Um, because I've used other bands that I think I bought from Walmart. If you have a Walmart wherever you are, or certain stores you may have gotten certain equipment from back before I knew bands like these were available to us. Um, what? I was like 17. I think I was 17. 16 going on 17 or 17, and I bought these bands not really knowing what or how to do it. I just knew why. So then by age 21, I think I bought bands from Body Elastics, and you know, I haven't switched to any other band since. Thought about it, but again, I haven't had issues with them. One, two, um, you can, with the bands that you get a certain number, any bundle of bands, and depending on what your current strength is and how many people you have living with you, Not only can you use it, depending on what you're currently capable of, but so can the people that you live with. All right, so I'm going to do another set using, this part of the chest compared to the next exercise. I'm going to do upper chest. All right, so again, this is, by number it's 63 pounds, but again, the more you stretch it, the more it's going to feel like 200. Which is kind of annoying in terms of not knowing exactly how much you're pushing, but you should definitely know and feel the difference if you actually do it, and hopefully appreciate it. All right. So now I'm going to set this up on my rack so that I can, so put this anywhere anchor here and put that down, so now I can work the upper chest. If you don't have, a power rack, hopefully I'll show you the door anchor that you can use. Last time I did a video, I couldn't really find it, so hopefully I actually find it sooner this time. So I'm setting this up so I can work the upper chest. Alright, so let me see. Shit. Oh, there it is. So the door anchor, if you haven't seen this before in any of the videos that I've done, actually I did this in the video I did before this one. So you put this part of the anchor in your door, put your bands in this part, close your door, excuse me, and when you hear that pause, it's because for some reason I'm yawning and I have no idea why. But put this part in your door, close the door, make sure you lock the door, because this will pull the door open if you don't lock it, and you'll get hit in the head or where, in certain spots you don't need to get hit. It'd be kind of funny, but don't do it. So again, for this, I'm not using this because I'm not putting it in my door. I'm using a different anchor. All right, and a different base because I'm using my power rack for those of us that have a power rack at home. Being able to do the workouts that I want to do without waiting for other people to get out of the way or get off their phone or whatever might be going on at certain points when I'm at the gym trying to turn up and people are in the way and can care less about being respectful to other people that use the gym also and spend their hard-earned money on a gym membership. All right. So this is the upper chest. Set. And stand up straight while doing it. I got one leg up front, the other leg in back for the sake of balance. And then yes indeed. So again, using certain bands that you hopefully can move. If I haven't mentioned it in this video and you haven't seen it in any of my other videos, is the good thing about it, I think I did mention it a few minutes ago, but with stuff like this, you can't cheat. So now that I'm doing incline, there's nothing I can do to try to lean forward or try to lean to the side, dancing around, bouncing around. And many of the things that certain people would do when doing certain workouts, any exercise, any workout, and cheating. So, you know, if I had dumbbells that were kind of heavy, I think when I did the 133-pound dumbbells for the incline that I did, I think I utilized some momentum to get it up for the first, so I can do the first rep, since I don't have a spotter. But then I actually did 4 or 5 or 6 reps, once I actually got going. With this, you can't really get a spotter. You can't cheat. You might be able to get a spotter, which I think is a waste of time. I don't think you need a spotter with bands, but, use it correctly. Make sure there's no slack in the band. So see that? So if I start there and then all of a sudden, I mean, you'll still kind of feel it, but, there's no reason for you to start like that. Start here, have some tension in the band, keep your chest up, and don't try to use momentum, because like I said, if you can't do it, you still won't be able to do it even if you try to cheat, at least not with bands. Don't hold your breath, even if your breath stinks. I'm going to do one more. Alright, so that's 2 exercises. That's part of a chest workout that I would do, as well as flies. You can hook your anchor up there and hit a different angle for flies, for a decline chest press. You got all these options that you can do, whether you're using the door anchor and doing stuff on your door, one of the doors in your apartment or house, wherever you are. If you have a power rack like I do, or just something that you can hook this stuff onto. I'm using a anywhere anchor compared to a door anchor. So with an anywhere anchor, you use that on a tree, a power rack, a pole, and certain things that are sturdy enough to where you use this, because again, if you try to use a door anchor, you actually need a door. So compared to an anywhere anchor, you should be able to hook it pretty much anywhere. I don't recommend doing it in a pool, but if you do go for it, hopefully nothing happens. But again, it's just a matter of being able to do your whatever your workout is, back, chest, shoulders, arms. The next time I do this stuff will be doing shoulders and arms. I might try to post some of that for you guys, for those of you that might be interested. But yeah, being able to increase your strength for those that are interested in that, being able to increase your swole for those that are interested in that. For me, I'll be, depending on when some of you see this video, any of you see this video, I'll be 38 in about 4 weeks. Again, depending on when you see it, the video. Going on 38 soon, unless the Lord has different plans for me. Being a vegan for over 2 years, and using different equipment to constantly challenge my muscles in ways that I prefer, that I like, and in ways that actually work for me, and I believe will work for you too. So this isn't to say you have to do it, not even to say that you should do it, but if you do, for you to have an idea as to how, depending on what you're doing, have an idea as to why, and hopefully if you try it, especially if you get bans from Body Elastics, not that it should matter, I don't get paid from you getting that stuff, so if you get it, you just get it. With high hopes that if you get it, that you tag me in the Instagram or Facebook. So if you tag me on Facebook and go to my Fuller Fitness page, you should see a picture where you see me. So for those who, if you're seeing me for the first time, I'll make sure you can actually see what I look like, so that way when you see the picture you have an understanding that that's me. So I believe if you look on pretty much anything, because it's the same here too. So if you look at Facebook, Instagram, I think on here, you should see a picture of me. I believe I have a blue shirt on with a white shirt under it. A blue shirt on with a white shirt under it. I got my glasses on, so hopefully it's obvious enough that it's me. If you go on my Facebook business page at Fuller Fitness and tag me there if it allows you to do it. If you go to my Instagram, and I could put it at the bottom too, so you don't have to try to remember or whatever, but at Fuller Fitness BNY on Instagram, and tag me and just say, hey, I got some bands, or if you already have the bands, then go ahead and try some of this stuff, and let me know how you like it or not. Specifically, if you do, if you don't like it, just leave it alone. If you do, let me know that you like it. Let me know why you like it, if you care to do that. And hopefully you guys enjoy this stuff, because again, I've been called an overachiever. I've been told that I'm lucky, that I love this stuff, and maybe that's true. But again, to make sure you know what to do, how to do it, what to use, how to use it. And this is not to say that you have to use bands. This is not to say you should use bands. It's just that, one, for those who don't know, you can increase your strength using bands. You can increase your size using bands. And with bands, you don't spend as much money as you would on adjustable dumbbells, Olympic dumbbells, and then buying a certain amount of plates. All the, again, this isn't talking bad about it, because I have it. But the Olympic dumbbells that I have, I would show them to you, but I don't feel like picking all that weight up right now, especially just to show it to you compared to me actually using them. Plus, I'm taking a break from them. And I have 153 pounds sitting on them from the last time I did a chest press with them. So having Olympic dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells, all the different plates that you would have to buy, compared to the bands, you get the bands in bundles, at least from the website I get them from. So again, I go to bodyelastics.com, and I've had the same bands for the most part for decades now. And if there are times that I bought a few, but the reason I bought a few is because they came out with another band that's more challenging than the one that was more challenging than the thickest and most challenging one they had before. So before, the thickest band that Body Elastics had was this one, which is roughly 30 pounds until you start stretching it, and it might feel like 80 pounds or sometimes 200 pounds depending on what you're doing, especially if it's a shoulder press. So this is 30 pounds, but then once you start doing stuff, it'll feel like more than that. Then one of the ones I just used is 40 pounds. So now, trying to do that. So again, don't if you do this, don't think too much about the equivalency of the numbers compared to the equivalency of how it feels when you do it. So, you don't waste time getting frustrated saying, man, I want to be able to chest press 160-pound dumbbells. Maybe you will. I'm still trying to do that. So maybe you will do that. I'm only 2 pounds off, but maybe you will do that. And this is just a stepping stone to help you get to that, at least in my opinion, depending on how often in a year you do this and if you do it correctly. Uh, Doing a shoulder press, you use the 30 or the 40-pound bands, and it's, man, I want to do 125 pounds. Maybe you will, but this is just helps in terms of increasing your balance while doing stuff like this, increasing your strength while doing this, increasing your mental and physical confidence while doing stuff like this. And then, like I said, after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever time period you give it, I'm going to try to do this stuff for 2 to 3 weeks before going back to the dumbbells because I want to. For those who might ask why. And just do this to help you get better compared to where you are currently. I think somebody said something in my last video, at least one of my last video, if not my last video, last week I think, and I think a guy told me he stuck at pressing a certain amount of weight. And again, maybe if he does stuff like this, he, she, whoever, if you do stuff like this for a week or two, all of a sudden, get to the point where all of a sudden you're not stuck. Or, and again, don't rush trying to do certain loads. If it takes a few months, maybe even a few years, you might not be mentally, physically, and emotionally ready to lift a certain load just yet. So here I am going at 38, and I'm still going on 38 in 4 weeks, depending on when you see the video. And I'm lifting more now than I did when I was 28. Due to being smarter and still interested in trying certain things. So if you can't do it right now, don't be too mad at yourself or anyone else. Maybe you'll do it later and possibly do more than you thought you would be able to do. So just give it time. And then I'll have a link at the bottom to where if you're serious and actually want some help, to where I'll leave a link at the bottom to where you can actually invest in online personal training from me, and I can actually help you without you trying to guess or trying to do something that you might not physically, mentally, emotionally be ready for. And again, give tips on, try this first and, wait a few weeks for the, so depending on what variety of information and knowledge you need that I have, then you'll get it if you're actually serious about it. So again, I'll put a link at the bottom so that you can tag me on social media for those who might be confident enough and doesn't mind doing that, to let me know what and how you're doing. By the way, follow me on there if you're interested in doing that. Again, just to tag me and let me know, hey, is this, I did it like this and I like this, or whatever the case may be, and then go from there. Because my goal is, even if you haven't hired me yet, is to help you in certain ways to help you get better, pretty much regardless of your age or gender. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you give it a like. And then hopefully you share with people who might be interested in stuff like that. I want to say especially teenagers who likely don't have the money, especially if they're not 16 and old enough to work just yet. So, sharing it with some teenagers that you might know, male or female, so that they can utilize stuff like this. One, it works. Two, it's not expensive, anywhere near as expensive as the other stuff. Safe to use as long as you don't do anything stupid, and worth it. And then not only worth it for you if you just happen to be in a house, living in an apartment or a house with other people, or have friends and or family that you work out with. They can do it too. With high hopes you guys can do it. Maybe challenge each other in terms of what, how, and how much. Which band that you use. Again, just be smart as best as you can. And then if you serious about needing and or wanting help, I'll put out, the information that you need at the bottom, and see if you're actually interested, especially if you're serious. This is Martin, owner and trainer full of fitness. Take care.